Harris. So let me ask you this question: what makes you think that Kamala Harris did sleep her way into the position she is?
Because I've seen videos of her with. First of all, the black guy down there in California that she slept with. He was married. She slept with him. She took him away from his wife.
So that person that you're referencing, that person, they were separated with the person that they were married to. They were separated for years.
Listen, she was.
So not only were they separated for years, but I just want to let you know, Trump cheated on every single one of his wives. The last one with a corn star while his wife was pregnant. Here's a little crown. Listen, Trump cheated on every single one of his wives. The last one with a corn star while his wife was pregnant.
How do you know that?
One, it was determined in the court case for the criminal case.
The court case. I mean, the weaponizing.
Two, we have the accounts of his ex-wives.
The law. No. Listen. They don't want Trump.
And he's admitted to it?
Because they know that when he comes back, they're going to jail. Okay?
What?
A lot of people are going to go to jail. Because
no, Trump's going to jail.
What they're doing to him is going to be a boomerang back to them.
Oh, are you saying that Trump's going to put them all in prison?
I'm not saying he's putting them all in prison, but there's going to be a lot of investigation to those people.
Adrian, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't know what you're saying.
Did she hear herself?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, who just said that? Who just said can she hear herself? Was that someone that's with you?
Yeah, of course, my sister.
Oh, is she reading a comment?
Yeah, we're reading the comments. Yes.
Okay.
But
okay,
anyway,
well...
Yeah, I'm not going to vote for the communists, the Marxists. No,
Wait, I have a question. So Trump said that she's a communist and a Marxist, but then also said that she's stealing all of his policy.
Oh, yes, she is.
No.
No. Yes, she is. Listen, I watched all his rallies.
So, wait.
Some of the stuff that he's promised that he's going to do, she's coming up with it now. Like, no tax on tips after Trump.
Wait, Katie, are you saying that Trump is a communist then? Because you said that. You said that she's a Marxist.
Yeah,
but then she also should have a MAGA hat.
Tip doesn't mean you're communist.
Wait, listen. She also
no tax on
listen. Appreciate the sunglasses. Thank you. Listen.
No tax.
Neither does any of Kamala's policy. Neither is any of Kamala's policy. But listen,
she doesn't have any policies. Listen, if she has all these policies.
Okay, I'm going to mute you. This is too far. Okay, so she doesn't have any policies. All of her policies are Trump's, and she's a Marxist. So if she has policies, they're Marxist policies, which were also Trump's, but she doesn't have any policies. Katie, please, can you make it make sense to me real quick? Katie, can you make that make sense real quick?
She has no policies.
Okay, so then how does she have Marxist policies then?
She has no policies because she is.
So what Marxist policy does she agree with?
Of a professor of Marxism.
What Marxist policy does she agree with?
Oh, let's see. Why don't you ask her?
No, I'm asking you. You said she's a Marxist and a communist.
Yes, she is.
What communist and Marxist policy does she agree with?
She says she's going to, whatchamacallit? First of all, she wants to take my gun away, which is not going to happen.
No.
Mandatory. Yes.
What gun? Wait, what guns do you have? What guns do you have?
Do a buyback, a mandate on buyback.
So what type of gun do you have?
Who is she to take our guns away?
Katie, what type of pew-pew do you have?
A what?
What type of pew-pew do you have? Gun. What type of gun do you have?
I have a gun, a small gun.
Okay, so she's not taking that away. I promise you.
Listen.
And also, do you know Donald Trump said that he supports taking guns first and then due process second?
Excuse me?
Did you know that Donald Trump said he supports taking guns first and then doing due process second?
Give me a break. I've never heard him say that.
You want me to show you? Christine, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Christine. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you for the $25. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Listen,
anybody with 50? Do I hear 100?
Hey, do you want to see? Do you want to see Trump saying take the guns first? Chris, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
His rallies.
Look, Trump, take the guns first, go through due process second.
I can't see that because there's something on top of it.
Look,
Or is that on the hill? What kind of newspaper is that?
this is just quoting him. So it's
gonna
his
find
quote.
it. I have to go check that. I have to
For sure, but it's his quote. I'll read his quote.
I'm gonna
I like
find
taking the guns early, like in this case, in this
I
crazy
like
man's
taking the
case
guns-
that just took
listen,
place. Listen, ma'am.
President Trump.
Ma'am, can you listen, or do I need to
President
like
Trump
talk over
is
you and mute you?
100%
Push the confetti. Jesus Christ. Okay. The quote is, I like taking the guns early. Like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida, to go to court would have taken a long time. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Did you just accuse me of being a woman? I'm sorry.
What?
No, you said ma'am. What's that?
Did I said ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's the issue?
Anyway, President Trump.
Wait, what's the
never
issue?
Said anything
What's
about,
what's
about
the issue?
guns.
Ma'am, what's the issue?
President Trump never said anything about guns. Okay, I have to go and look. I have
You
to.
did.
Go
I just showed you. I just
No, you told me-
I
okay,
just
but
read the
have to-
quote.
I have to go find it.
I
Because
just read the quote.
I have never heard him say anything. that
Mary,
he's
thank you so
going
much for
to
the $5.
take the guns away from us.
For dealing with the insane MAGA. Yeah, I just told you. I literally just
Insane
told
manga.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, insane MAGA, yeah.
That's not right. That's not right.
Appreciate the pinch face. Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
Appreciate that mustache. Thank you so much, Sam. Do you want to hear him say
So
it?
can I ask you something?
Do you want to hear Trump say it?
No, I want to see it myself. You could put whatever you want in there. It could be AI. I don't care.
You think this is going to be AI? Are you
I
trolling?
don't know. I have no idea. Nowadays, show me the day. Show me.
Yeah, it's from February 28th, 2018. And
2018.
this is from the Washington Post.
2018.
Gun violence restraining orders. They're called. California actually has a version of this, and I think you individually
The
firearms, but any weapons in the possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms, they saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
Yeah, but what's before that?
What do you mean? What's before
What
that?
are you talking about before that? How did I come?
Come on! You gotta be trolling.
I want to know why you would say something like that. It has
You
to be,
just told
there
you.
has
He
to be-
just told you.
Okay, but there has to be a reason for them to talk about
Yeah,
that.
he said crazy man.
Crazy man. Okay, what was wrong? The crazy
So like we
man-
shouldn't let Trump run for president because he's a crazy man. Kimberly, thank you for the $40. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. My tattoo client brought up how you roasted Charlie out of nowhere today. Let's get a W from Kimberly in the comment section. Thank you so much. That's so funny. Wait, what were you saying, Katie?
I said he was president for 4 years. Did he take the guns away from us?
Point at the ground. Just point at the ground. Grampy's gonna come and get it, okay? Be careful.
That's it. Just pass it to Grampy. That's a good boy.
Jesus, this fucking horse cock!
Actually, he called for a bump stock ban, which they did. And also, he called for this while he was president.
2018?
Take the guns first. Yes, this is from 2018. Take the guns first, due process second. He says he likes going to due process second.
Okay, but why take the guns first?
That's what he said.
Okay, but there has to be a reason for him to say
For
that.
potentially dangerous individuals. Leslie, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, for the
And I think
bad guy.
people who have a violent sexual history, like violent sexual abuse, I think they are potentially dangerous individuals and shouldn't be allowed to be, president of the United States.
But he was president for 4 years.
So?
And we were very fine that those 4 years.
No, we weren't. No, we were
Yes,
not.
we were.
Mr. Buck said the was no.
Yes, we were.
What are you talking about?
Oh, do you think we're better now with millions of people in our country
So
that
4
are
years ago, I
not
appreciate the
legal?
confetti. Listen, 4 years ago, there was 7.8% unemployment. 4 years ago, there were hundreds of thousands of people dying every year because of a global pandemic. Oh, they got violated for community guidelines.
What I believe Parker meant to say was that she was removed from the app for violating the community guidelines. Remember, folks, people like this train wreck of a human being vote, and vote in high numbers. I need each and every one of you to make sure you're registered and vote early if possible. I can't wait to see these idiots crying and losers for the third time. Thank you for watching another video on my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it if you would let Parker know I sent you a love to say hello. Be sure to enjoy the weekend for me and have a lovely afternoon. Goodbye. With the election getting closer,
You guys are Soy Boy TikTok.
wrong, or for saying things that people laugh at regularly. Not these morons, though. These classless idiots will happily regurgitate nonsense, be shown the errors of their ways, and still favor proven lies over the facts before them. Let's take a look and see what our debaters have found for us today.
You guys are Soy Boy TikTok users, and this shit makes no sense. I'm not gonna
Mind if I
lie.
ask you a question?
No.
Okay, well, don't run away from someone that's smarter than you. That makes you the smart.
You're just assuming that you're smarter than me because I spoke like just 5 words. That's pretty horrendous, bro.
Because you called us soy boys.
You guys are. Parker, I fuck with you, but Dean, I do not fuck with you. You are the definition of a soy boy that just talks fast and like thinks you know everything. And you guys have been belittling and being disrespectful the whole time. You guys really want to go make a difference? Go outside, touch some grass, go actually have like educated conversations with people, have debates with people. If you guys are literally as disrespectful as you are in this TikTok live, not you, Parker, specifically Dean. Specifically Dean. If you are ever this disrespectful in real life, I promise you, you get the like teeth punched out of your mouth so quick.
Mind if I ask you a question?
What? What question? Go for it.
What's 4 plus 4?
76, obviously.
Ate you the fuck up, and every single one of your friends and every single other Trump supporter that comes up on this live.
Nobody hears my friend. I don't know.
Contemplate the following. You're saying that Eugene Carroll isn't a victim. Comes up on this live. Says that Donald Trump isn't a racist. Says that Donald Trump isn't a sexist. And then gets mad at you for calling y'all out.
I didn't
for
say
your
you didn't do
phony
any of that shit.
baloney.
I just called you a soy boy.
I have a question. So I'm gonna say that you're gonna associate the term soy boy with the term beta male here. What's an alpha?
That's the problem, bro. That's the problem right there. You're always like, well, we'll do this, and then we'll do that, and then this, and then that, and then this. No, bro, who cares? You got called a soy boy. Who cares? It's okay.
No, I'm just asking you, like, what
All right,
do you
bro.
mean when you say the term soy boy? Can you define that term?
You.
Okay. Well, you guys
Like,
are
you like open up the dictionary, you find the word soy, and then boy, and then it's you, Dean.
Yeah, but that's an example, not the definition. How would you?
No, like go get a dictionary, open it up, and it'll be a picture of you.
Okay, right. So you're saying that
I also think it's ironic that people say this because the YouTube comment section on the Jubilee thinks it's the other way around.
For real?
it is what it is. So I just have a question. Are you voting for Trump?
Honestly, I don't really know, but like I just really came on here just to be like, dude, just stop being disrespectful. Like, you know what I mean?
No, man, I just
Like,
think you're pissed
some
because
people-
you see me debunking claims that you agree
hold
with.
up, don't.
Brittany, thank you for the $10 on Venmo
Yeah,
for
and
Soy
that's
Boy
the
Dean.
other
I appreciate you for the love,
You're
Brittany.
not Kai Cenat. Stop screaming that shit, and while people are like trying to talk, that's
Bro,
disrespect.
chill. I was just thanking
That's
Brittany for the
definition of
donation.
disrespect.
Do you need a
Yeah, but you're
binky?
not
I was
Kai
thanking
Cenat.
Brittany for
You're
the
not
donation.
Kai Cenat, bro. Like you're not him. Nobody cares. If you want to have a debate with people, that's fine. But like you're
Brittany
not.
cared enough to donate $10 to me on my Venmo, my bio. Okay.
Cares.
Flau, I appreciate you for the money,
Like
Ben.
just
Why are you
try
so
to be
mad at me,
respectful.
bro?
Because you're disrespectful, bro.
Wait,
Brianna,
how can
thank
you
so much
expect
for the
me?
$5? Thank you so much, Brianna. I appreciate it.
Dude, I was in the other one.
How
I was
can
in
you
the other one
expect me-
too.
Hey,
I was in the other one too.
I need to calm down. This is why we shouldn't have men in leadership positions.
Sure,
Like,
thank
you're
you
too
for the $3.
emotional.
Thank you so much.
I was in the other one too, bro, and you were just being,
Vanessa,
like,
thank
a
you for the
total dick to
$15
people.
saying keeping me. I appreciate you. The $15
Parker at
on
least,
Venmo,
like,
Vanessa.
tries to be like educational in some sort of way, but you,
Letitia
on
with the
other-
$25 on Venmo to keep my foot on his neck. Thank you for the love, Letitia. That was
like,
insane.
that's the
Thank
other
you for the
thing, bro.
$25 on Venmo, Letitia. And Peter Parker, thank you for the $5 for the milk to fill their baby bottle. I appreciate you.
Bro, you're crazy, bro.
Listen, Marv, I hear you. But how can you expect me to respect you?
I don't think you do. I don't think you do, because the second I called you disrespectful and a soy boy, you clearly got pissed.
Lauren,
So-
thank you for the $5 on Venmo, Lauren.
Like, I
Mark
fuck
Kelly,
with
thank you for the
Parker, but not
$5 as
you.
well.
Like, people
And
like you are
Sally, thank you
annoying
for the
as fuck.
$5 on
When it
PayPal
comes
for
to
the
the
soy boy.
political shit, people like you are annoying as fuck, and it's hard to have a debate with actually somebody like you, because you just belittle people.
Mike, thank you for the $15 on Venmo for being a soy boy. I appreciate you for the $15 for being a soy boy. And Jay with the $20 on Venmo for dunking on the MAGA morons. I appreciate you for the love, Jay. W's for Jay and Mike in the chat.
Vanessa, thank you for the $10, and Stacy, thank you for the 2. Thank you.
And Holly, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for the softcast. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it, man.
How do you expect me to respect you when the first thing that you said coming up in the live was that if I act like I do on live in person, I'll get fucking punched in the face?
You would.
Like,
you would.
this
That's
is the
like
double
common
standard.
sense. If you go.
Amy, thank you for the $5 on Venmo to keep pushing his buttons. I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo, Amy. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Lori, thank you for the $25 on PayPal. Let's get some W's in the chat for Lori right now with a $25 on PayPal. Massive W's for Lori and Olivia. Thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
I'm sorry, bro. This must be a pain.
Yes, I appreciate you.
Look, he's laughing. This motherfucker's laughing. Like, come on, dude.
Jam, I appreciate you for Galaxy. I mean, you think that Parker's laughing at me?
I think it's funny because you think that he's like so terrible. I'm just asking like, what's so bad?
I don't know. He's just disrespectful, man. He just comes off
Can
like
you be
that.
more specific?
Oh wait, so
you've been belittling and disrespecting people this whole time. Like, people have come on and like they clearly don't know like everything. Like, you guys are clearly like pro debaters or whatever. People are coming on and they're like, you could just educate them, but no, you like belittle them and like make them feel stupid and shit. That's not how the real world works. If you do that in the real world, you're gonna either get like punched or you're gonna get like embarrassed. Some sort of.
Well, honestly,
is the real world one, two, as it relates to this. It's also the case that if people are able to like hurt us or something because we said something they disagree with, that shows that they're in a state of fucked up, right? And not me, right? I didn't do anything wrong. Right, if I literally
like
annoy
being
you,
disrespectful, you're doing something wrong. You don't disrespect
disrespectful, like, by
strangers
saying
on a
something,
day-to-day basis.
By disrespecting someone by saying something like that should not mean that you go and punch someone, right? We use a little bit of emotional intelligence in that.
Would you guys go out into the real world? Would you guys
Hey,
go
Mark, do you mind if I just butt in here for a second?
try to have a conversation with somebody and be disrespectful?
Yes,
Would you do that?
I did it to Charlie Kirk to his face.
Okay,
Lacey,
but no,
thank you for the $10 on Venmo for hurting Molly's feelings. I appreciate you for the $3, Lacey.
that is honestly, I'm not.
I mean, do you mind if I just butt in here real quick? You're talking about me. I'd like to respond.
Would you mind if I butt in real quick? That's all you do, bro.
Well, I'm trying to be like kind, and like seemingly you don't like that either. So which one is it?
You haven't been kind. You haven't been
Hey,
kind
Mark,
for the last
I'm gonna ask you to politely. I'm gonna ask you to politely put the pinky in your mouth while the other one's talking.
Bro, put a dick in your mouth, bro.
Oh wow, you hitting on me? You want me back? I just think it's.
That was actually good. That was actually good. That was funny. That was.
I just think it's crazy, right? How the bully, the bigot, the villain hates it when you give their same energy back to them. I swear to God, right? This MAGA mind virus. One moment, I'm cooking. Let me speak.
You're not a chef.
This MAGA, I'm
Stop
cooking.
it. Like, stop with this. I'm slick. You're not
I'm a
Randy
chef.
Savage.
I am a chef. I am a chef.
You are not.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Savage.
finish.
This is not
Do you
Joe
need a
Joe.
binky in your mouth? Can I finish, sir?
Oh,
you will have your time to speak after I'm done. So wait.
So
your
why are
turn,
you so
show some
entitled?
self-control.
Why are you so entitled, bro?
I am absolutely entitled.
Entitled.
I am absolutely entitled to my time, as are you. I will give you the same respect as soon as you allow me to
haven't given
finish
me
speaking.
bro. You haven't given
I think
anybody
I think
respect.
because it's mutual.
shit about
Because it's
respect.
mutual. How can you say that you expect me to show you respect?
only reason why
You interrupt me every 3 minutes.
Marcus,
Can you put up on mute so I can finish?
2 hours. Do this shit.
Thank you. So anyways, I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. I don't know why it's always the bully, the bigot, the villain that doesn't like it when you dish them the same energy that they give you. This MAGA mind virus has convinced tens of millions of Republicans today that they could act just like Trump and be belligerent with no repercussions. And then as soon as I give those repercussions by returning the energy that I receive, all of a sudden it's an issue. No, what's an issue is acting like you're entitled to be the bigot, to be the bully, and to speak with such rhetoric in the first place. You won't see me being disrespectful respect me as someone that is genuinely undecided or is voting for Trump because the economy was better and they just want a better life and they think Trump's that man. No. You'll see me being disrespectful to the grape apologists, to the sexists, to the misogynists, to the people that look in my face and say that women shouldn't be able to lead. That's the type of character that gets the disrespect that they serve not just to me, but to the people that are actually oppressed by that. How do you think it sounds when we have millions of Republicans today saying that women shouldn't be able to lead our country because men are better at it? How do you think it sounds to everyone from the Latinx to saying that if you don't speak English, you're not supposed to be in our country? And then you expect me to treat you with respect? No. If you don't respect me or the people that I stand for, I don't respect you, point blank, period.
Bro, I don't give a fuck about you respecting me personally. I'm talking about if you're gonna have debates in the future, like just try to talk to people with respect. Don't belittle them. It's very simple. It's not that hard to
Can I
understand.
ask you a question on that? Like, why don't you apply that same standard to someone like Donald Trump? Because like every time
I do. No, I do. That's the thing. That's why I just told y'all. Like, I don't really know who the fuck I'm gonna vote for because, like, Trump's a bigot. Trump's can seem racist. Trump can seem like this, seem like that. But Kamala's not clean either. Neither of them. No politician in this goddamn country is clean. If anybody thinks any politician is clean, you're a fucking idiot.
Marv.
None of them are clean. They're all scumbags. Why do you think the world's in the shape it's in?
Marv, that's an incredible generalization. I don't think every single person that's applicable to. I do think there are really good people that are trying to do something about it. Saying everyone in electoral politics is a bad person is a heavy oversimplification of extremely complex issues. You can't take into account because you're just applying it to everyone. If you apply this standard to everyone, you can't distinct the good from the bad. You can't distinct people who are actively trying to make change and do good for this world from people who are not. And if you can't do that, you're not living in reality, you're living in your delusions. Okay?
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
You have to have a mechanism of being able to, based upon evidence, identify that one person is corrupt and another person is not. Because clearly there are people that are
they're both clearly corrupt, though. Like, it's evident. And to say it's not evident, like, you're just lying to yourself.
No, I don't think Harris is corrupt. Give me a reason to believe Harris is corrupt.
How is she lies?
Gerard, thank you for this $15 on Venmo to go towards my culinary education.
You'll be like,
and
this,
Gavin,
this,
thank you for $4 for the 20 Thank you, Gerard and Gavin.
What lie are you referencing?
Just listen to her talk for like 15 minutes and you'll be like, oh, wow.
Marv, I have listened to her talk on plenty of occasions. Give me one time where she lied.
She lied about, I watched last debate, she lied about Trump like 24/7. And Trump lied about her. They both just, it was just a lying fest.
Marv, give me one lie.
I can't remember, bro.
Okay, if you don't know a
Not in
single
this
lie.
exact moment.
Listen, Marv, if you don't know a single lie she's ever said, then why do you assume it to be the case?
I mean, if I
can
do what you guys did and I pulled out my laptop and I started looking it up, like, yeah, I could.
I don't have
Holly,
any, I
thank you
don't
for
have
the
any
$5
lookup.
on
I have
Venmo.
nothing I'm looking at. And I can tell you
why are you
off my head.
disrespecting Parker?
You guys have been doing it this whole time. Like,
Why are you
like,
disrespecting
Marv,
Parker?
you can watch me
I'm not
in
disrespecting Parker, get real.
Marv, you can watch me in person debate Charlie Kirk without anything. I debate this because it's in my head. I'm not looking at anything. Actually, the thing I was doing on the computer is I'm trying to fix the first this sunglasses. Thank you so much. My controller, because it's not recognizing the USB, and I can't play 2K.
Oh, you play 2K?
Yeah, I play 2K.
No, that's facts, bro. That's facts.
That's what I do. People think I'm like reading some scripts. No, I grinded my player in my career up to 90 overall. I grinded my player in my career up to 90 overall. I put almost 300 hours into 2K24 in like a month. No,
That's crazy, man. Good shit, bro. Proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Brianna, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo, and Caleb, thank you for the $5 as well. And Brianna, your message is very sweet. Thank you for the
I don't know, man. I just want, like, I don't know. I just want always, I feel like we're in a very bad place with everything right now, and I just want it to fucking be good. And I don't know if either of them are the right person for the job, but I don't know, man. The world's just a shithole right now.
Okay, so who's gonna make it actively worse?
Probably Kamala. I'm not gonna lie, man.
How? Tell me what
Because,
thing to do to make it worse.
Because, dude, like, all right, the borders were better under Trump. The economy was better. There wasn't freaking the shit with the Palestinians and Israel. That wasn't going on.
Let's talk about
Actually,
this.
well, technically was going
in terms
on.
of the economy, right? 4 years ago today, there was 7.8% unemployment. There was hundreds of thousands of people dying in a global pandemic. There was a genocide in Yemen.
genocide in Congo. I feel like that should be talked about more.
Syria.
No one talks about like the genocide anymore.
I didn't even really hear it. Just like froze for a second.
Okay. Marv, can I ask you this question? Would you vote?
Yeah, go for it.
To ban all Christians from coming to the country?
No, but dude, you can't say that because in 2015, literally the shit in Paris happened with ISIS, and at that point in 2016, Trump was like, nobody wanted all Muslims to not be able to come into the country, but you have to take precautions.
Do you want to play?
You have to, yeah, but you have to take precautions. No, I'm not saying he like. All right. Yes, he said that. But obviously, a normal person is like, he's not Hitler, bro. Like nobody actually
According
wants
to JD Vance.
You have to take precautions.
According to JD Vance, he might be.
He might be. He might
Paris,
be. He might
bombing shit in 2015. What do you think any president would have done in 2016?
Alexis, a person.
But because he's Trump and he said that, everybody jumps on the wagon of being like, oh yeah, he's super racist.
Kamala Harris said that I want to be voting for him.
Trump
also,
wasn't even president.
He probably says that behind closed doors.
And Marv, I just want to ask.
Trump wasn't president.
Political people love to lie, bro.
Can I ask a question? So we've had an epidemic of young white men shooting up schools here at home in the U.S. for the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's tragic.
Does that justify, right, countries in the EU, right, instituting travel bans of all white men under the age of 25?
No, that's invalid. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, then why would it be valid that there's terror attacks being committed at the hands of Muslims in Paris? Therefore, we should be able to ban all new Muslim entries. But when there's the terror attacks committed at the hand of white guys in the U.S., it's not justified for countries in the EU to ban. One moment, how could you say that it's justified for us to ban all new Muslim entries because of terror attacks in Paris by Muslims, but it's not justified for the EU to commit a travel ban against white guys because of terror attacks in the U.S. by white men? That's a double standard you're applying there. Why demonize Muslims?
We had to take control. We had to stop ISIS.
So then why wouldn't it be justified for the countries in EU to stop young white men from coming into their countries and committing domestic acts of
how
terror?
that works.
Okay, so there's actually no distinction here, but you're just prejudiced against Muslims. Is that right?
No, my best friend's Muslim, bro.
Oh, so now we're going to tokenize your best friend?
Marv.
No, don't talk. No, that doesn't make sense, bro. No,
let's think about it this way. Let's think about it this way. The point that I'm making is that people would never accept a candidate that said they wanted to ban all Christians from coming to the country. If Kamala Harris said that she wants to ban all Christians from coming to the country, regardless what happened related to Christians, people would freak out and wouldn't vote for her.
Yeah.
But because Donald Trump said this about Muslims, and because Islamophobia is so prevalent, right, within the West, it is the case that it's not talked about in the same degree, and you're still taking into account voting for him. Like that's just.
I never said I was going to, bro. I just said I literally said in the beginning.
No,
I don't know.
You're taking into account voting for him over Kamala Harris when you can't mention anything that Kamala Harris has done that you would consider excessively bad.
Anything in the last 4 years have been a shit show, dog. It's been a shit show. World War III is already happening. It's just not been billboarded in front of all of us to be like, hey guys, we're in World War III. There's literally wars going on around the country, around the
Where's the
world
Declaration of
we're
War
going
for the
on
United
right
States of
now.
America?
That shit didn't happen when Trump was in office. He was only
Could you show us the Declaration of War from
shake
the
his
US?
hand and be like, you gotta fucking relax or else you're gonna have a problem. And they were like, okay, yeah. He did the same thing with Putin. He did the same thing to China. Like, come on.
So when you say there's World War III right now, that's just as valid as me saying that World War III started during Trump's administration.
I guess
it's valid.
I guess you could say that.
Okay, so did Trump cause World War III then?
No,
Obviously not.
Nobody, Well, nobody wakes up and is like, I'm gonna start World War III. Like nobody does that. But
Hitler did. But
well, I mean,
he literally invaded
that's a
Poland,
no-brainer.
knowing that it was going to lead to World War III.
Yeah,
and then declared war on the U.S.
war on the United States.
Lead to
Yeah.
involvement.
Yeah, I mean,
In
yeah,
1941.
Yeah.
That was not very intelligent.
yes, of course.
So anyways, you talked about a couple things there about the economy being worse at the beginning of COVID, onto economic travesty, and high rates of inflation. We should be evaluating the Biden-Harris administration for how they responded to it. They responded quite well. The U.S. had the quickest rebound out of any other country in the G7 because of their monumental policy that benefited the average American.
Dean Layla wants you to get a Cash App.
I know I need to. And then about like world events, I mean, you're just gonna have to give us facts to.
She comes in and she looks at me and goes, yeah, you're done drinking. I don't want, absolutely not.
I said, you are not my flight attendant, so you can leave now or go get me another beer. And then that woman got fired. I always try to treat people to make them laugh and giggle, but sometimes you get in life. And when I feel like it's my job as a human being, as a white male, to light you the up. To out you and show you what looks like. Okay. And it does not come pretty. No, yeah, shut up, Leanne. Just shut up, Leanne.
Stratosphere, then John will say, so you're like, oh shit, back up.
Tom and Bert don't have the greatest track record when it comes to being rich and famous douchebags. In fact, on the list of entitled celebrities who have gone full Karen, Tom and Bert are easily in the top 10. Some would even argue that they're in the top 3. But that's not the worst part. You see, celebrities throwing tantrums in public because they didn't get their way immediately isn't anything new. But what makes Tom and Bert so unique is that they actually brag about it. This has always been something that I never really understood because as much as they like to believe it, these guys aren't rock stars. Rockstar behavior is usually only ever celebrated if you're an actual rock star, right? But when you're a middle-aged, overweight alcoholic comedian jacked up on Ozempic and TRT, rockstar behavior doesn't really go down well with your fans. And that's something Tom and Bert figured out the hard way yet again over the course of this past week. What they thought was just some light-hearted storytelling ended up backfiring and turning their fans against them. So I'm going to show you how they completely misread the room and screwed themselves while thinking they were being open and honest on their podcast. But if you haven't already, check out the link in the description to my Patreon where you'll find part 2 of my Kill Tony MSG weekend coverage. There's also a full review of Joe Rogan's recent comedy special as well as a bunch of other exclusive videos. So check that out if you're interested. It's a great way to support the channel. As for Tom and Bert though, well, unfortunately for us, Tom's off having a staycation with Emma Hicks this week, so it was a solo podcast with Bert and young Grady, and it doesn't seem to be doing very well. 2 Bears, 1 Cave is so far gone at this point that they literally resorted to reading comments off Reddit.
We were talking about comments.
Y'all were talking about comments.
Yeah, we were casually talking about. He's like, "Have you read the comments?" And no, but I was like, "People leave comments. Get me on. I want to read some comments."
You're just looking up at this point. I think you should maybe look up like.
By the way, this is a woman Googling this who's never looked at in her life, I'm assuming.
Hub comments. Also.
The Reddit hub comments. I'm tripping. Or does he have balls? Am I tripping or does he
not have balls?
Yeah. No, sometimes your balls go into your body, especially when you're stuff.
They also got onto how the internet has affected our lives and the pros and cons of being so connected with each other, and it was here that Bert made one of the most delusional and fucking hilarious comments I've ever heard come out of his mouth. You guys are gonna love this.
The connectivity of the world, I think, has created a lot more enjoyment. I think the internet maybe is kind of added and taken away from it.
I think it's added and taken away. I think there's really cool things about the internet. Like, I really do. And I try to find the upside of everything. But, like, this is very against who I am because I don't read comments. I don't read my comments. But what I really enjoy are funny meme comments. Like, funny, like when someone does something and as you look at the video, you're like, oh my God, I gotta run to the comments. And then the comments are hysterical.
Okay. That's how I feel when I see literally any video or short clip with Bert Kreischer. Straight to the comment section to assess the damage. And so when I was watching last week's train wreck of an episode, I went down to the comments and this is what I found. Damn, Bert really exposed his real self on this one. God, he's an awful person. So you got someone fired for not wanting drunk adults around the high school fashion show? What kind of sick person are you, Bart? Bart bragging about how he got a woman fired. My favorite part of Bert trying to defend being an asshole makes him look like such a bigger asshole. The last 30 minutes of this pod was Bert going, so I basically act like a spoiled 13-year-old a lot. So it's safe to say that their attempt to be genuine, open, and honest about their embarrassing behavior ended up backfiring on them. Instead of making them seem more relatable, it made them look even worse than we initially thought.
People enjoy the comment section.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good one.
I bet. I can't wait. Listen. Can we just celebrate the fact that I'm open to share my flaws?
I think it's the fucking actual, the whole of this right here is saying we're sharing embarrassing behaviors.
Embarrassing.
And you should share yours. That would be a much more interesting comment section.
I would love to please share in the comments times that you have behaved irrationally and was willing to die on that hill.
Isn't it funny how when you build a reputation for being an entitled brat who acts like a spoiled teenager, your fans don't respond to your stories the way you think they will? And the best part is how delusional they were in thinking they could engineer their own comment section. So this all started with Bert sharing a couple of times he went full Karen. But I just want to make one point before we go into all the podcast cringe slop. There's one very simple reason why this backfired on them. They're not being open and honest and sharing these stories to improve themselves and become better people. They're sharing all of this shit to brag. They think it's a flex, especially for Bert. He thinks it's cool because he's the bad boy comedian who's living it up and doing things everyone else can only dream of. He flies in private jets. He's got the cars, the houses, the watches. He drinks all day and parties all night. He travels around the world to sold-out arenas full of cheering fans who can't wait to see him shit his pants on stage, literally. So for him, being a Karen is just another quirk of his comedy brain. It's all one big flex.
Leanne was pointing out times where I've lost, where I think the rules don't work the way I want them to work, and I will, just tell her to get up here. And she was, because I switch over. I go to Karen. I go full Karen.
Yeah,
but it's my Karen.
I know.
Like we were at the girls' fashion show for the school, and we were with the dads and having a good time. We're having some beers, and one of the ladies in charge of the fashion show came in and was like, she takes it very serious. She's like, not one of the moms. She's one of the people that produces it. And she comes in and she looks at me and goes, yeah, you're done drinking. And I went, absolutely f***ing not. I said, you are not my flight attendant, so you can leave now or go get me another beer. And then that woman got fired.
You're talking about the fashion show.
Yeah, fashion show.
Only Bert Kreischer can tell a story about getting somebody fired for doing absolutely nothing other than simply their job. Meanwhile, these are the guys who get all butthurt and lose their minds when somebody heckles them while they're performing on stage. Because God forbid somebody interrupts them while they're doing their job.
Talking about when we were in Vegas and the lady was like, yeah, you can't sit here, you got to sit there.
Oh, it's not very pretty.
Well, he was saying when he goes from fun, jovial guy to like...
Fuck yourself guy?
Yeah. And I said, oh, I've seen it. I've been there for it. And he goes, Leanne has a list. And I go, well, I'm sure it's longer than mine.
Yeah.
So he wanted to bring you up.
For my list?
Just give me a good one and I'll tell Tom, I'll defend myself.
Anytime you're told no for access to an area. That's anytime.
Oh, yeah, that's
Fill in
right.
the blank.
That's a big, that's called big time in people.
You can't walk here. I can't let you in here. Anybody in an arena who's been told who he is.
Oh, hold on. Stop it. Hang on.
Oh, I remember.
Them up. Like in such a way that I go.
No. That's not fair.
That is fair.
That's not fair.
Actually, you can say, "Hey, this is my show," without being like, "Go f yourself."
I don't say go f yourself. I don't say go f yourself. No, hold on.
It's an embarrassing attitude.
It's not. Hold on,
It embarrasses
Tom.
me.
This is a big mistake. I should have never brought her up here. This is why we should have never let women vote. We should have never. I wish she was a voiceless.
It feels borderline diva-ish.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I think Mariah Carey has similar stories.
I understand. Okay, listen.
Don't you love how Tom sits there judging Bert for being a diva when he was the one who had a 48-hour Twitter meltdown this time last year because he was asked to check his bag at the airport and then quietly deleted every tweet from that month thinking none of us would notice. Those of you who have been following this channel for a while now will know that ever since that incident and all the backlash he got from his fans, Tom's been trying to clean up his public image and drop the whole douchey rich guy thing. And to be honest, he's been doing a pretty good job of it. The flip side is he's slowly becoming boring as fuck. Have you guys noticed that as well? It's like he's been in autopilot this year. He just sits there and lets Bert do all the talking and laughs at him as if he's just there to moderate the conversation like Tony Hinchcliffe on Kill Tony.
If you say anything else, they're going to literally kick you out. we're gonna have to edit this part out because you're such a dumb that you had to keep talking after I told you to not talk. You had to update your table about why you're talking and how silly it is and what I said.
But Bert absolutely loves this shit. Just take a look at his face when he talks about himself and all the bratty things he's been doing. Nothing gives him more pleasure than to talk about himself and how much better he is than everyone else.
Everyone right now is hearing this, and they're ready for me to spin out, and I am not the hero in the story. I need you to stop and pause, and I need you to remember that you liked me originally, so let me be my hero for a second. Okay?
You're gonna give us a humility speech?
It's not a humility.
She knows you so well. It's
f***ing exhausting. It's exhausting. Okay, I'll tell you the very last show we did. So I did a 2-year arena run. Now there's every morning. I don't need to tell this to you, but I'm telling this to anyone listening. Every morning you pull into the arena, your team goes in and they have a meeting with the staff, with the security, with everyone that runs the venue. Yep. Here's how today's going to work. Everyone will have passes except for one guy. He will probably be shirtless, in shorts, and barefoot, walking around. He is Bert, and this is what he looks like. There's a picture of him everywhere, so when he goes to walk, he will not have a lanyard on. He will not be wearing a lanyard. So just giving you a heads up, when you see that guy, it is the artist. Now, let's just be fair. If you are working in an arena, you maybe want to know who the artist is that's performing in that arena that evening. So the very last show I did, I was walking in to go to the gym. I just had my workout clothes on and no shirt, and white dude maybe didn't get accepted in the police academy, lights me up. Hey, whoa, I need to see your pass. And I went, I'm actually good. I'm the artist. No. Everyone needs a pass. I go, that's when I switched.
That was a quick switch. Though.
See the jowl shake that happened, though?
Yeah.
Shut up, Leanne. Just shut up, Leanne.
Stratosphere, the jowl shake, and you're like, oh shit, back up.
You switched quick though on this guy.
I did.
Yeah. It didn't really get there.
And I wasn't done.
No, yeah.
That guy, hang on, that guy did not know who I was. I'm paying him. If I'm paying you, treat me with a little bit of respect. That's all I ask. A little bit of respect. Or give me the same respect, and this is what I said, and maybe this is a wild statement. Give me the same amount of respect that you would expect every artist to get. If Whitney Houston walked in, no, that's a bad example. If J-Lo walked in, you would know it's J-Lo. You'd be like, oh, hey, how you doing? I don't need to see your lanyard. Have a great show. Yeah. And by the way, 98% of the time I walk into a venue, that is how I am dealt with. And I will say this, and I will make this racial. It has never been a black dude or a black woman that gives me shit. They always go, what's up, how you doing? Every time I've had an issue, it's been a f***ing white dude. An overweight, balding white dude who's lit me up. And I said this one time, I said, if that's how you treat me, imagine if Lil Baby comes in and what do you do to him and his guys? Because I already know how you can feel. You got a power complex. I fight power with power for the powerless. I do it for the powerless.
You're so.
Stop it. She's gaslighting me, and she gaslights me, Tom.
Yeah.
She gaslights me all the fucking time.
I see it.
And
Yeah, I'm sure Bert's main concern is the social and racial inequities experienced by celebrity minorities in modern America. And did he really just compare himself to Whitney Houston and Jennifer Lopez? His story actually reminded me of a few times when Formula One drivers get checked by security when they arrive at the track, because not all of the security teams know exactly who these guys are, even though they make a lot more money than Bert does, and they're a lot more famous. In fact, the same thing happened to 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton at the Canadian Grand Prix this year, except he didn't handle it like a spoiled brat who's desperate for fame and attention. And just to remind you, Tom and Bert tried to pass off this whole storytelling honesty session as self-improvement. Remember, they're embarrassed about their behavior. They want to change.
I can't wait to fucking light someone up at Costco, and I will. Hold on.
Hang on. This is called priming someone. I think this is actually, you're going to go in there. Yeah.
I can't. I walked in. We got close to it the other day. I was like, what's selling well? And he goes, vodkas. And he goes, you know what's crazy? The Kirkland vodka sells really well. I said, really? He goes, yeah, the higher end ones don't. We got a new one. I said, it's mine. And he went, yeah, huh? And I went, no, that's my vodka. And he goes, sure it is. And I go, no, I'll be here August 3rd for a bottle signing. And he went, huh? And it's moments like that where if I feel like he's going to tell me to go f myself, that's when my skin.
I think you're looking for it, though.
No. What I'm trying to do was, cause I know you got in trouble for just starting to film in there, and I was looking for access to film at that moment, and I knew I had to slow roll it. I wasn't going to go and hard sell him, so I was like kind of massage him, and then he was really cool. We'll see him today.
Oh, okay.
He was really cool, and he was like,
I thought you were about to tell me I ripped his.
He was really cool. He was like, oh wait, for real? I was like, yeah. I said, my name's Bert. I'm a comedian. I said, me and my best friend, disabled comedian, we launched this vodka, and he was like, wow. And he said, well, like, is it like a white label thing? And I went, no. It was really cool. And I said, man, I go, this is the only place you can get handles. And I showed him the bottle, and he was like, you designed all that? And I was like, yeah, it was a team. We worked. Yeah. It was a really great conversation. That's all I want out of everyone. So when I say when you order Starbucks, are you nice? I always try to treat people to make them laugh and giggle, but sometimes you get in life. And when I feel like I feel like it's my job as a human being, as a white male, to light you the off, to out you and show you what looks like. Okay. And it does not come pretty.
No, it's not pretty.
Isn't it funny how the story changes from self-improvement to bragging? And just to give you guys an idea of just how much nobody gives a fuck about their new vodka, take a look at this recent anecdote from Bert, which in my opinion is 100%, no question, completely true.
This is a subtle plug. We are in all Costco's in Southern California, 19 different stores. Yeah, it's so cool going to Costco and seeing our vodka.
I know,
it's so cool. And you know, I'm aggressive.
Yeah,
there was a dude grabbing a bottle of Tito's, and I went, "Can I change your mind?" And he went, "Excuse me." I said, "Same price point. All I'm saying is this one's a little cleaner." Yeah. And he goes, "Well, I've never heard of it." And I said, "It's mine."
Great story.
You didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I said, "I'll tell you what." I actually at the counter, there was a dude with a handle of Tito's. Yeah, and I switched it for him. I said, there you go, buddy. And then he goes, but I want my Tito's. And I said, this is better for you. And he goes, I'm going to stick with my Tito's. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to buy this bottle for you. I'm going to give it to you. And I want you to enjoy my vodka. And I bought him a bottle of vodka, put it in this fucking thing.
That's cool.
I bought 3 handles.
Okay, here are 3 reasons why that story is definitely true. Number 1, the guy had no idea who Bert Kreischer was. Number 2, he gave absolutely 0 fucks about Bert's new vodka. And number 3, Bert had to take it to the counter for him and pay for it himself to get the guy to walk out of the store with his bottle of Corosos. That could possibly be the first accurate recollection of any interaction between Bert and a member of the public we've ever heard. And you could even see it on his face as he was telling the story. There was a moment where he realized, oh no, wait, this isn't a good story, is it? But let's leave Bert for a moment and hear from our boy, Tommy Buns.
By the way, can I just tell you a good story of when I was a great guy? Because I feel like I'm doing all these bad things.
I almost killed a guy in a restaurant one time. And I followed him into a hallway, and I told him I was gonna hurt him. And I checked out of that hotel so that I wouldn't have to see him again.
For real?
Yeah.
Why?
What year was this?
He was really like,
yeah.
And he dropped the plate and then walked away. And I was like, and so I followed him into the back hall, and I was like, I'll fucking knock your head off. He was, and then I just went to the front desk. I was like, check me out of this hotel. Yeah.
I followed a dude in the bathroom one time. He's famous.
Okay, Bert, I bet you did. But can we just stop for a moment and appreciate how unintimidating Tom Segura is? He tried to do a layup while playing basketball and ended up getting assaulted by the hardwood floor in the gym. He literally got half his body broken by an inanimate object. It was probably a good thing he rushed to check out of the hotel after threatening that worker. However, in true Tom Segura style, he tried to tell a relatable story so people would understand that he's a human just like us, but ended up just making himself look like even more of an out-of-touch douchebag than he already did.
You know what? I'll just remember another one. You gave us...
Me? Again?
No.
Oh.
You gave me a jet ski.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know, 6 months later, 9 months later, I got a second one. A little different style or whatever, brand or something. And then shortly after that, I go out one morning with Christina. We're going to go on jet skis. And so I go, get on the one that Bert gave us. And she's like, well, I learned on the other one. And I go, no, that's the one that we just got a few months ago. You wrote on that one. She goes, no, I've never read on that one. Dude, we're leaving the canal, and I'm like, you've never been on this one. And she's like, that's the one I was on before. And I go, you f***ing have never been on this. And I was so heated that we were supposed to like tandem ride. And I just left her. And then my jet ski started to sink. It had a hole in it and it sunk. And I had to wave her over. I was like, it just sunk. It sunk in the lake. And I was just like, I'm sorry about the jet ski thing. I need you to save me. I'm dying. I lost my mind.
Don't you hate it when you forget which jet ski you rode last? Was it the one my buddy gifted me, or was it the one I bought myself? And so by the end of the podcast, Tom and Bert had obviously shared a little bit more than they had probably planned to, so the damage control started. Like I've been saying throughout this video, and this applies mostly to Bert, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. On the one hand, he's embarrassed and he wants to change his behavior, but on the other hand, he can't wait to light someone up for not recognizing him.
I am who I am. I am flawed. I am sensitive. I get my hands pursed when I get excited. I cry a lot, and sometimes I come out hot with emotion. Okay? That's it. That's it. I know my flaws, and I'm willing to share my flaws so that I can be a better person and learn from those flaws. And that's all we're asking from our fans this episode is share times that what I would really love is people to write in with their story where they can be like, I'm
embarrassed of what I did.
I'm embarrassed of what I did.
I think the important thing to say here is that like you can hear these stories and just go, you guys are fucking entitled.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I think that like I'm not proud of those things. I don't think you're proud of that.
Proud of them. I wish I didn't do it at all.
It's like exactly, but that's the thing to point out is that like think about times where you've not been proud of how you react to something. Because it's very human. Like to act like nobody does this stuff is what's nonsense. People just go like, oh, you're the fucking one guy that like you've never had an interaction where you're like, oh, I'm embarrassed that I did.
Sorry, Tommy. I can honestly say I've never had a full-on meltdown at the airport over having to check my bag, and then lashed out at my fans for calling me out on Twitter. Almost none of the things Tom and Bert spoke about in that episode are relatable, apart from maybe the disagreements with their wives over certain things. And that right there just proves how far gone these guys really are. They still don't understand that the average person does not give a fuck about being recognized at Costco or ask for a security pass at an arena. And I don't believe for a second that Bert is sharing his stuff with us to help himself become a better person and to improve. You can tell by the look on his face how excited he gets to tell stories about how much of an insufferable prick he is when he doesn't get his way instantly. And thank God for his wife Leanne for calling him out to his face. Whenever things got too personal and she started telling the truth about his behavior in public, he straight away told her to shut up. It will never cease to amaze me just how much these guys will screw themselves by being too honest and then try to backpedal once they realize how they're coming across. But like I see so many of you saying in the comments on these videos, they won't stop until there's nobody listening anymore. Anyway, don't forget to check out the link in the description to my Patreon if you're interested in my longer form uncensored content. My Kill Tony MSG Show Part 2 video is up now, as well as plenty of other stuff, and it's a great way to support.
I'm with my wife and my daughter and like all her friends, and people are taking pictures with me. They're coming up and taking pictures with me, and one of the dudes like kind of is like goes, who the f is he? And I heard him, so I said I'm a comedian. And then he goes to my wife. He does this. He goes, whoa, like it must be making his head big. And then I just vomited my ego onto his shoes.
Yeah, what'd you do?
And he was like, he didn't even notice. He was like, cool. So when do you do the improv next?
Wow.
My daughter Isla is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? A person that does not give a fuck about.
What are you doing, Bert?
What are you doing? And
what are you doing?
I don't know.
Bert Kreischer has made a career out of being famous for being friends with Joe Rogan. But sometimes when he's not on stage in front of all of his seemingly loyal fans, he has to deal with the reality that not everybody knows who he is And even worse, when he does explain who he is, they simply don't give a flying fuck. This was the situation that Bert recently found himself in on a night out with his daughter and her friends, and instead of keeping this embarrassing interaction to himself, he thought he'd share it on Bad Friends with Bobby Lee. And a lot of the podcast was dedicated to their egos as comedians and how now that they're famous and selling out shows, they find it difficult to restrain themselves from lighting up people who refuse to acknowledge them or give them opportunities before they became well known from podcasting. So I'm going to take you through all the cringiest bits from this episode, and the thing that always smacks me in the face like a ton of bricks is how guys like Bert openly discuss how toxic they are. I mean, Bert not only explains what happens in these situations, but he also explains his thought process in detail, not realizing that it clearly paints him as a narcissistic psycho who needs professional help. The way he simply can't deal with rejection and insists on engaging with randoms who have no idea who he is really takes the comedy ego brain to new heights. But just before we get into that, if you're interested in my longer form uncensored content, check out the link in the description to my Patreon, where you'll find a bunch of exclusive videos covering Kill Tony, comedy special reviews, and updates on various lawsuits involving podcasters that most people don't know about. Basically, anything I can't post here on YouTube due to legal reasons goes on Patreon, where it's safe from all the corporate bullies that I cover. So if you're interested in all of that, check out the link in the description below and support the channel over on Patreon. Anyway, so Bobby Lee started the ego discussion by bringing up how much he hates that his instinct leads him to act in a certain way in situations where he's confronted with someone from his past that rejected him or simply ignored him. For those of you who know Bobby, this is pretty standard stuff for him. He'll create an awkward situation himself and then complain about how awkward it is.
Let me ask you another thing that I'm going through right now.
Okay.
And it's something I hate about myself. And I can't talk to Andrew about it because he doesn't really listen to me. I was in Winnipeg with your friend Tom.
Yeah.
We're doing a show. Backstage. I don't know if we talked about this, but have we talked about this? There's a guy backstage. He's a club owner in Winnipeg.
I know the club.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice guy. Seems like a very nice guy.
But that's the club that Tom bombed in horribly, correct?
I don't know.
Yeah, keep going.
So anyway, Tom goes, hey, this guy, you know, he's owned the club for years.
Yeah.
And immediately I go, how come you never booked me?
Why would you say that?
What? That's why. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You can't say that. Why?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Okay, keep going.
There's all these clubs in America that I remember calling my agent, because even before podcasting, I did pretty good numbers, right? So I go,
good numbers.
What?
You've always done good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm doing way better now, but you know, and they would go, they just don't want to, right? It would make me mad because it's like, I want to play it. I want to go to that city and play it, and then I look at the lineup and go, I have more credits, whatever. It would just build. I would build a resentment, right? So then now that I see these club owners now, I'm kind of like weird.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be like that, but it's like, am I the one that's in the wrong?
Yeah, you are. I'll tell you why.
Tell me why. Teach me.
What happens when you get famous or when you get success in comedy is all those little thorns in your side that wouldn't work with you and didn't want to with you and didn't want to talk to you and maybe sometimes didn't even know you existed. When you first get famous in comedy, or not famous but get some success, there's an impulse. I've seen so many people do it to light those people up and let them know, now you couldn't get me, or something like that.
Right.
And when
it's ugly.
All right, can we just take a moment to appreciate how fucking incredible it is that Bert Kreischer is giving another comedian advice about keeping their ego in check? We're talking about a guy who just last week was bragging about lighting up a security guard at an arena he was performing at because he asked for Bert's idea. And the worst part is, Bobby's talking about this because it's something that he hates about himself and wants to change. When Bert was telling all these so-called embarrassing stories with Tom recently, he concluded that he can't wait to light somebody up in a Costco after this.
I can't wait to light someone up at Costco, and I will. Hold on.
This is called priming someone. I think this is actually, you're going to go in there. Yeah.
I can't. I walked up. We got close to it the other day.
Okay, so let's just keep that little gem of irony in our back pocket and get back to comedians coping with rejection.
I'll give you a perfect example of someone I love to death that I wanted to say that to. I wanted to work Comedy Works so bad. Denver so badly. I wanted to, I could name 100 of these clubs because I didn't have your career. I had like a bullshit career. Like I had one where like I worked on Travel Channel. No one ever thought I'd ever make money. No one ever thought I was ever going to become successful or get a special on Netflix. So like there were a bunch of clubs that just the cool clubs would never work me. Work me.
That's interesting.
And so I wanted to work Comedy Works so bad, but I always worked at Denver Improv, which is predominantly a black room, and it's one of the worst rooms in the world.
I know.
I languished in the Denver Improv doing, and never selling a ticket, and I wanted to work Comedy Works so bad. And then I met Wendy, and there was a part of me that wanted to say, why did you ever work me? And then Wendy just was like, you're hilarious, where have you been? And I was like, oh my God,
right.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And then anytime I ever stopped by Denver, it was all in your head. Dude, I remember.
It's not in your head. She didn't book you.
No, how about this? I'll give you a better one. Kingmakers at Comedy Central, they gave you half hours.
Yep.
They gave you hours.
Yeah.
And I remember going I remember sending audition tapes to them, and I didn't get a reply, no feedback, nothing. And then I was like, man, I got so in my head that I was like, I thank God I never ran into them drunk and said something, because I would have said my emotions and I would have said all my feelings. And then one day I get a phone call from both of them, and they're like, you're f***ing so goddamn funny. Where have you been this whole time? And then I was like, thank
I get
God
it.
I never said anything.
I understand.
But it's a natural instinct. I watched a guy light up a f***ing club owner who all he said was, hey, congrats on all the success. And he's like, yeah, I bet you wish you would f***ing book me now. And then I was like, why are you doing this? He just said congratulations.
I would never do that.
Yeah, but here's the deal. He's at an arena and he's watching you perform murder with Tom Segura.
Yeah.
He knows how big your podcast is.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does every single one of Bert's stories sound like complete bullshit? Like the way he says, then they called me up and said, oh my God, you're so fucking funny. Where have you been? Do people really talk like that? I don't know. But did you hear at the end there how Bert slipped out? He knows how big your podcast is. See, that's really the elephant in the room for most of these guys. That's the only reason why they still turn up to do their podcasts and recycle the guests around and go on each other's podcast and tell the same stories over and over and over again. Just in this episode alone, Bert brought up his body count again after discussing it with Young Gravy recently on Two Bears. Then he brought up Ben Affleck just so he could pronounce his name wrong, cause comedian, followed by the story yet again about how he was invited to the Republican National Convention, but his wife Leanne wouldn't let him go because she knew he'd get drunk and make a fool of himself. And somehow he repeats all of that shit as if it's something to be proud of. I mean, apart from Joe Rogan, do you really believe that these guys keep putting out episodes because they enjoy podcasting? They clearly fucking hate it. Tom Segura looks borderline suicidal on every podcast he's on these days, and Bert can't seem to understand that he's gone from an affable Kool-Aid drinking teddy bear to a full-blown lol cow. Anyway, so after the comedy club rejection cope came to an end, Bobby and Bert started comparing themselves to Santino and Tom, explaining in detail just how much more toxic they are compared to their co-hosts.
You know, and I only bring this up. Listen, I'm only like this with certain clubs, and you're right, I want to change. And so, and obviously in show business, of course, they're like directors, like, where have you been? I've been in town for 30 years. Yeah. And I'm on their radar now, right? So that's why they say it, and I understand it. Yeah. And I'm blessed. But it's like, the only reason why I brought it up is because it is an ugly side of myself that makes me feel uncomfortable and makes me go, wow, I wish I could just not be like that.
Do you know who doesn't say it?
Who?
Santino and Tom. Do you know who says it?
What?
Me and you.
Yeah. We're better people. Are we better? Let's be honest.
I would rather be me than Tom.
I'd rather be me than Andrew.
Yeah.
I think that's the truth.
Can you imagine being Andrew? Can you imagine being Tom? Can you imagine being Tom where everything's got to be like this, like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Hey, this vodka is great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. yeah.
Hey, this is a really cool car. When did you get it? Shipped it over from Germany like a week ago. Man, it's nice.
Yeah.
He's just dead inside.
He's better at communicating with people in terms of like family.
Wow. Are you talking about Tom or Andrew?
No, Andrew.
Oh my God.
He loves being around family and friends. Yeah.
That's Tom. That's Tom. He's better at communicating with people. Like, I'm not good at communicating with people.
Yeah.
If I get a text, I go, I just don't reply.
I don't reply.
That's actually the one close blowout fight Tom and I ever had.
Yeah.
Was so simple to solve.
Yeah.
But we sat down and he's like, we need to have like a legit conversation. He's like, we run a business together. We're opening another business.
Okay. Keep going.
Conversation.
And he said, you need to reply to my texts.
I know. And it's so funny here, Bert, that you say this.
Yeah.
I'll show you something right here. So then, but I hate it when the people don't text me back.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to give you one right here.
I stopped texting people because I don't want to wait for their text back.
So
Okay, what the fuck is this? It's like we're watching two 16-year-old Valley girls cosplaying as middle-aged overweight comedians. It reminds me of Jack Black's character from Jumanji.
Okay, so there's two things going on here. If you're super busy, I get it. My fear is they don't text me back because I'm not cool enough. And I think that there are people that are like that.
Is that what you do to us, for example?
I text you back.
I would never text you guys.
Okay. No.
Like I would like. I have a list. If you look at my list for my employees, and I'm not saying you guys are employees, but if you look at all the texts they sent me, I would never reply to them. I'm not going to spend my time replying to them.
Right.
You can talk to me when I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't reply to emails. I don't look at emails. What's the matter? It's not normal for us to be this connected.
To your employees?
Yeah, it's not normal for anyone to get access to me 100% of the time. Like it's
I'm
so fucking wild.
I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, let's lay it down on the line, dude.
We should not be able to get in touch with each other
all the time.
I can't tell you, hey man, I'm going through some with my daughter, we're getting ready to go to college, and then post a picture of me eating edibles at the beach. Then you watch it and then go, hey man, you're at the beach. What the fuck? Why'd you lie to me and say you're at your house packing up your daughter?
Yeah.
And then I go, you're not supposed to be able to call me on my that easy.
No, you're not.
I got caught.
Oh yeah, you did.
I got caught in a lie. As I told someone, I was like, I'm packing up with my daughter. I can't do that today. And I was at the beach eating edibles, and I just didn't want to do it.
Right.
And I was like, I should be able to lie to you, like old school, like in the 40s.
In the 40s, yeah.
And no one calls me on it.
It was easier in the 40s.
It's not like I lied to you when I killed somebody.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be around you. I'm trying to be nice.
Fuck me dead. Imagine Bert had to get a real job with real responsibilities and couldn't just decide to ignore everybody and go to the beach and get high. He'd be broke and living on the streets within a week. It's like he made a list of famous douchebag behaviors and spends every day ticking each box off. And one of the things on that list is to pretend how you used to be poor. That's one of Bert's most brilliant delusions because it seems like he's almost convinced himself that it's actually true. Remember that quote from George Costanza? It's not a lie if you believe it. Bert likes to conveniently forget that his father was a high-profile lawyer with his own firm who could afford to send Bert to college for 7 years. I mean, they even made a fucking movie about it. But we shouldn't let the truth get in the way of a good story, huh?
And so for me, my ego is that I've just like I don't know. I think I was broke for so long that all those stuff I was telling you about what young comics do when they first get famous. I was guilty of some of those things. Not all the time, but I definitely was guilty of them. The other day we're at Night of Destruction. It's a demolition derby in Irwindale. I'm with my wife and my daughter and like all her friends. And people are taking pictures with me. They're coming up and taking pictures with me. And one of the dudes like kind of is like goes, who the f is he? And I heard him, so I said, I'm a comedian. And then he goes to my wife, he does this, he goes, whoa, like it must be making his head big. And it was like a weird thing, but it struck me wrong, right? And then he said, so where do you do stand-up? And I said, just anywhere, really. And then he goes, you do the improv? And this is what's crazy, and Isla called me on it. I said, yeah, I used to.
Yeah.
I still do, though. I mean, like if I
you still do?
I lied.
I've seen you there.
Yeah, I do it.
I've seen you there.
Yeah, I know. And I said I used to, and he goes, "Oh, have you ever done it in a while?" And I said, "Well," and then I start getting this dialogue. It's an inner dialogue with me to this guy, and I go, "No, I'm off tour right now. I'm taking 9 months off, and I've been on tour for the past 7 years, and I just got done this arena tour." My daughter Isla is like, "What are you doing?" What are you doing? Person that does not give a fuck about.
What are you doing, Bert?
What are you doing? And
what are you doing?
I don't know. And I was like, because he did the thing though, whoa, like he must have a big head. And I was like, I'm watching you. Like, I'm right here. What do you mean?
Yeah.
He's like, everyone's taking pictures of you. And he looks at my wife, whoa. And I was like, what the? And then I just vomited my ego onto his shoes.
Yeah, what'd you do?
And he was like, he didn't even notice. He was like, cool. So when do you do the improv next?
Wow.
I fucking hate myself.
I know, but you know what? I get it.
That story is brilliant. Imagine how embarrassed his daughter was in front of her friends when her 51-year-old father had to explain to some random guy how famous he is, not to mention the fact that Bert was probably drunk at the time as well. We really need more video footage of this shit, but of course it didn't stop there. Once Bert gets going with these stories, he simply cannot stop.
Here's the worst one. When people go, so you get recognized, and then other people go, "Who are you?" And, and I'm like, I'm nobody. I'm a comedian. They're like, but why are people taking pictures with you?
Yeah.
And then I cut to the fucking chase. Yeah. And I go, I'm famous. And they're like, I don't know you. And I'm like, I know that. That's why we're having this conversation. I had a girl at a Grateful Dead concert come up to me and go, hey, what's up? I said, how you doing? And she goes, I know you. And I said, no, I don't think so. She goes, no, we went to high school together. And I went, no, I went to an all-boys Catholic high school in Tampa. I know we didn't go to high school together. And she's like, no, bullshit. You're not from Tampa. I know you. You're with me. And I went, no, I'm famous. And she went, no, you're not. I was like, and she goes, why would you say you're famous? I go, I'm so famous, you think we went to high school together. I don't know what to tell you. And then her friend goes, who the do you think you are? And I go, my name's Bert Kreischer. I'm a comedian. She knows who I am. She just can't place it right now. And I guarantee you in a couple minutes, you're going to know who I am because she knows who I am. And they go, f you. And they turn around. And then the girl in like 2 minutes goes, you're the machine. And I went, yeah, I go, what? But I had to go through all this ego death to get to here. Why couldn't you at the very beginning be sweet and go, hey, I know you. And I go, no, you don't. And you go, okay, maybe I don't. And turn around. I'll tell you, I had a famous person do that to me one time. Because that's the thing with famous people is you think you know them. I did it to Reese Witherspoon. I thought I knew her. I was like, we grew up together. She was like, did you? No, but that's what happens.
Oh, okay.
When you, especially like someone like Reese Witherspoon who's so beautiful. You just are drawn to.
Okay, first things first, nobody has ever said to Bert Kreischer, you're the machine. That is 100% completely made up. Secondly, Bert starts telling a story about how annoying it is when people recognize his face but don't know who he is exactly, and then he explains how he's done almost the exact same thing before to Reese Witherspoon. But just imagine having all that money, not having to clock in at a real job or having real responsibilities, and still giving a fuck if people recognize you in public. And you could tell that even Bobby Lee thought Bert was being ridiculous. He ended up making up a story to sound like Bert, but couldn't go through with it and ended up bailing out.
All right, keep going. You were saying.
I don't even know.
Okay.
It's so embarrassing, I don't want to say it. You know?
Say it.
Well,
That's all we do.
I was in an event with this girl. I was sitting there at this event, and she was like, "What do you do?" I go, "Comedy." She goes, "Yeah, well, like what kind of?" I was saying, "Yeah, I'm killing it. I'm killing it." I said, "I'm doing really good." Every club I go to, I sell. Every club I go, I sell out, right? And she goes, "Oh, that's cool." I go, "Yeah, it's like cool. I get like a versus deal." I say,
"Oh, Bobby! Oh, Bobby! Oh, Bobby!
Yeah, I get a versus deal."
Bobby!
Yeah, and she goes, "What's that?" I go, "Yeah." The club takes 40. I keep 60, or I don't know, so whatever the thing is. And
this is the worst one I've heard.
And I talked about it for about like a half an hour about myself. And I go, "What do you do?" She goes, "Oh, I'm not really. My dad's a comic." I go, "Who's your dad?" She goes, "Ray Romano."
That's the best one.
I completely made that story up.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know what else
because I didn't have a story.
You're
pretty good though.
That's good.
That was really good. That was really good. You should make up more stories.
I do. That's a pretty good makeup story, right?
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Bert not realizing that he could just completely make up stories instead of recycling the same boring shit over and over again absolutely made my day. And it's actually really interesting to compare Bobby and Bert together. Bert's put out 5 comedy specials and starred in his own movie, which bombed, whereas Bobby's never put out a comedy special in his life, but he's been in a bunch of movies in supporting roles. Apparently, he's working on his first special, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. When he was on JRE earlier this year, he explained that the reason he hasn't put one out yet was because he didn't want to have to write new material. Bro's been touring the same set for 25 years. Meanwhile, Bert keeps putting out specials but recycles the same bullshit machine story at every show. I personally can't wait for Bobby's first special to